Hi everyone. So this video is actually being recorded on August 2nd, scheduled to go out on the 23rd. Reason being is because earlier today I recorded a video and I had my reservations about posting it, to the point that after much deliberation I deleted the video and then went back into the folder and took it back. I recovered it and then I thought about it some more, tried to get it onto my computer, and the file transfer failed. So I was like, all right, cool, just not gonna do it then. And I released a pre-recorded video, the pick a card reading, that I don't even know when I recorded that. It was a long time ago, and I got the date in my mind, August 23rd. So that's always been the date that it was supposed to go out, and I feel like I completely betrayed myself. And so now I'm recouping my losses and kind of just doing a flip. So since that was supposed to go out on the 23rd and went on the 2nd, then this is supposed to go on the 2nd and it's going to go on the 23rd. Got it? So I'm going to put that video at the end of this one. But I do have a couple messages that want to come through for someone out there. And then afterwards you can just get out of my office, right? So I feel it connecting. How this may connect to the other part of the video is because I mentioned soulmates, and I see this highlighted here for you, in the sense that I'm really being drawn to seeing the perception of separation. And it's flipping me through many different lifetimes, many different experiences in which you and your soulmate were separate, and what that looked like, what those experiences looked like and felt like, and what it feels like is happening currently is you're stepping into this new phase of life where you are more into the, not just the feeling, but the living of being one with not just source, but one with your counterpart. Because one with your counterpart, understanding that, is also understanding being one with source. And I think there's a difference between kind of knowing that and then also knowing it deep in your heart and applying that to the way that you live, breathe, exist in this world, right? And so what I see with that is it's bridging that distance, bridging the gap. And it brings me back to the video that I posted where I was saying, like, I am love, or I am powerful. And it's the emphasis on am, but it's in R, like R is be in existence. Like, that is who you are. R is be. And what I mean with that, I guess, is like this, like an example I'm getting is if someone were to ask you, like the person, it's the peak enlightenment is what I feel. It's becoming peak enlightenment of one, of existence, of being what is. And so if someone were to ask you, like, who are you? You could just not say anything. You just be like, and they'd be like, oh yeah, vibes, I get it. That's what's up. Like, that's what I feel. It's like you not just understand, but you live it. You're living proof of it. And in that, it's that full acknowledgement, understanding that as you heal you, as you understand you, as you experience you, you are also experiencing healing, understanding your counterpart, because your counterpart is you. And so the less that you see the distance, like perceive the distance, the more you understand the why of the differences and the distance. And you could be right beside your counterpart and still feel that physical distance, because in this world, in this reality, this dimension, you are physically separate from them, right? So I see you bridging that gap. Spiritually speaking, you're bridging that gap. And you're embracing the like, what I'm seeing is like a seesaw, right? And how in this reality you are on either end, you and your partner on either end of the seesaw. But that space, the elements between, the shared space, like the air, you're becoming more of air, like you're existing as that. Is that making sense? I mean, I know it is. For the person that this is supposed to resonate with, you're like, may I leave the office now? So yeah, let's pull one of these little heart cards, and then you can watch the second part if you feel so. So we have believe in expression. Be open to all possibilities and opportunities. Let go of preconceived ideas. There's nothing to fear. You're constantly surrounded by love. Start to believe in yourself and trust your instincts. Wondrous possibilities and opportunities abound, provided you are flexible and retain an open heart and mind. Believe all is possible. And I do want to note, I was going to say this, but I don't know why I didn't. It's coming back again in this card, where I can feel that my apprehension will have resonance with your apprehension of self, in the sense of maybe self-doubt or self-discouragement, kind of almost even being afraid to be different or feel different or say or act some way outside of the norm, and how in essence that is enslaving you to the keeping that perception of distance. And so as you free yourself, you liberate yourself from those self-imposed restrictions, you will also open yourself up to those wondrous opportunities, and feeling that love surrounding you, enveloping you. Expression says, express how you feel clearly, lovingly, and honestly without fear or judgment. Say it exactly like it is. All will be resolved when you express to others how you truly feel. Trust in the power of life to guide you and heal all concerned. Self-expression is liberating and healing. So yeah, definitely. I also want to say too that I don't understand like why I'm drawn to do that reading or say, and in a lot of readings I don't understand why in the moment, and sometimes it's really not up to me to really understand why, right? I may never know why, but you have to just kind of trust and believe that if you're leading a heart-led life, that could never sincerely betray you, because it's a God-led life. It's a belief in self, but it's in self without the worldly self, or those kinds of egotistical attainments. It's the self of being inclusive, right, of everyone. Self benefits everyone, to be more of you, right? It's really important that you find time to really trust, right? Trust yourself, trust the process, and sit with that, right? Meditate on that. Find peace in that. To I was gonna say disseminate that tension and shift it into encouraging energy. Live more in that energy, right? Shift your attention and your frequency into that expanded light feeling. And just feel safe in knowing that you don't really fully have to get it. Like, people don't have to understand you, and you don't even really have to understand yourself fully to at least even just appreciate yourself and to love yourself, right? Unconditional means that, it really doesn't matter too much. And if you can exude that, because I feel you can exude that very quite easily with those around you, continue to invite that in. Let that whisper be a shout, and let that in. Okay, so that's what I'm getting here. And also kind of give your cares, give your worries to the angels. Feel that ease in that, and again, kind of alchemize it, right? Transmute that energy into this new element, right? The element, that's what I'm saying, is kind of like, I think that's what I'm trying to say, is like, it's like alchemizing, in the sense that if you see this kind of seesaw, that's building an energy, right? Like kinetic energy in there. But then how can you transform that into that space, that unseen realm, that unseen space, and then bring it into something very powerful? Okay, so magical. That's what I see. And I'll talk to you guys later. Enjoy that second part of the video. Okay, if you don't, click off. Hi everyone, so today is Wednesday. I will be posting this later this evening. So this is not a subject that I want to do, but I'm following a higher calling on this, and it does feel like I'm supposed to be doing this video for whatever particular reason. So I'm supposed to talk about the bias about the individual prior to doing the reading, right? So you just kind of get an idea of what I do already know about this person, since I haven't done a video on them yet, right? So I did a video on his father, Joe Biden, many years ago, and in that video I did feel around July 4th of that year there was a medical emergency that was not publicized, and ever since then I didn't feel like he's been with us. I've done readings on people who are cognitively declining, and it's a different feeling than what I get with this. So I kind of just deduced that he was no longer here, but I mean, obviously he's still out and about, so I don't know what that's about. I did feel that there was, well, never mind the details of his father, but I did see some things. If it comes back up and it's relevant here, then I'll bring, okay, so it's a little bit relevant. So as you guys may know, as far as my information that I've received, as far as soulmates go, it's your counterpart, right? Your soulmate is your counterpart. it is you. In essence, it is you. It is a part of you. It's your other half. You are forever connected. And so in this kind of visual world, right, this 3D world, then you do have separate lives, separate people, separate, you know, all of this. And so there's also that perception of separation from the soulmate. And so your soulmate can, depending on your life path, be a romantic partner. It can be a familial relationship. It can be someone who is always of spirit, someone who did not incarnate here during your lifetime. People that you feel are your twin flames. You know, it takes on different forms, right? So his soulmate, I do feel, incarnated as a very young child, a young female energy. And so I would kind of equate this maybe to around a granddaughter. If he doesn't have any grandchildren yet, then it feels then this individual is going to come into the world sometime soon, I guess, whatever soon is, within the next 5 years or so. And this has motivated him on a spiritual level to take a different path than he was currently choosing to go down. So his trajectory was of many, many choices that could lead him to kind of a sworn to something he kind of was born into. But the soulmate intercepted this by bringing up feelings of awareness and love that he was not capable of feeling as Joe Biden. And so until she came along is how it feels. So until she came along, it's like he kind of felt limited. He wasn't aware that he was limited, but he was, as far as his capacity to love another and treat another with value and respect, in a way that is his essence, rather than kind of doing it because of kind of the world's perception of what a loving person or a man or whatever is supposed to act as, right? It's something more authentic. So Hunter, prior to all of everything that's kind of going on, and everything that's going on, I do not know. I don't pay attention to it at all. And the reason I don't is because I've kind of fallen into this idea of like, just it annoys me. And so it's like, well, what's the point? Like, why do we need to know this? Like, it's very, very annoying to me because people already knew this before this whole laptop incident happened. Okay? Before it happened. Because people talk. People talk. And, you know, I'm aware, allegedly, that a lot of these people who are the spokespersons, right? The people who talk about what's going on are not that far off, in my opinion, of what they're reporting on with regards to Hunter. And so it's just very annoying to me. Like, they should all go down, in my opinion. Even if it's not as severe. And not only that, but you already knew. And I can kind of understand I mean, I can't. Like, I can't understand if you knew, you probably have more connections than other people who know. So why aren't you, like, why don't you do something about it then? Like, come on, be about it. So that's kind of that. I am hearing right now March is significant, and I'm hearing body in the water. Bodies in the water. They're saying to show you my scribble, so I don't know. There's my scribble. So there's that. There's a spot on here right there, this little green spot from my other pen. I'm getting this image, okay, like there's like this tiger or whatever, and it's guarding this body of water, and in the body of water there's bodies, and the body comes up and grabs the tiger by its tail, and the tiger like flips its tail. I don't know what that is, ignore, right? But it didn't realize that when it did that, it had an awareness. It said, I don't know what it is, I think I know, but I'm just gonna ignore it, and I need to play cool, right? So then while it did that, it kind of lost its attention span a little bit, and it dipped its toe in the water. And when it did that, that body knew, it was like pre-planned by the body. So it grabs the toe, and then that freaks the tiger out, and the tiger starts getting all jittery, and then it pulls me out into the scene that this tiger is, it showed a safari. First it showed the zoo, and then it said no, it's a safari, and then it said no, it's a zoo. And so it's like a safari of people watching, but it's within the bigger scope of thing. It's you're chained into the zoo. So it's this manufactured reality, all in pose for the tiger. But within that, it's like, you know, there's a place in North Carolina, Ashboro Zoo. So it's like this, it's a really, really big zoo. So it's kind of giving me this example of that, where it has that kind of like safari feel to it, where it's like very, very vast. They can kind of like live their own life within the zoo. So then it's big enough where you can kind of go around, look and look and look and look. Okay, the point of that is, first of all, bodies in the water, body. I'm saying bodies, but then it's a body in the water. Vermont, New York, Canada. And it just keeps, they're like, put it down, keep putting it down. Like every time I try and focus on that, then it brings my hand, and they're saying put it down, onion. Okay, I don't know. And I saw an onion, or like a shallot, you know, something like that shape. And I asked, you know, I'm like, well, could it be a lotus unfolding? Could it be a lotus? And he said, no, because I mean, these grow under the ground. This grows under the ground. Why do we even need, like, why am I doing, like, what do we even know? Why do we need to know this? Well, and then they said, we'll talk about Hunter first. And Hunter is this, there's some, what do I know? What do I know from my personal experience? What I know, like real life, not this, you know, children of well-connected or well-to-do, well-off families, kind of that are kind of messy, I guess, they kind of fall into different lines of why. Sometimes it's done by the parents to ensure that they can use their children as pawn, and it's a way to kind of control that child, and it's also a way to safe zone, you know, surefire way to invalidate that child or adult, you know, but they're still the child. It's a way to invalidate them when something happens, because, oh, well, they're just a drug addict, they're just a drunk, like, they don't know what they're talking about, they're a mess, they're hallucinating, all of this stuff. It's to invalidate that individual and then those around them. Then it makes them highly manipulative, right? Then it everything that kind of encompasses that, okay? That totally makes obvious sense of why, right? Then there's also the individuals who are kind of messed up because they're very broken, because they're very empathetic, sensitive, and they're kind of going through the process of trying to cope with having those types of figures as their, you know, guardians, right? And then, of course, the ones that are just kind of running amok because they have the resources to do so. So Hunter, it feels like, you know, what this whole situation, why this is even happening for him on like a spiritual level, what's going on here is for him to really realize how trapped he is, how he is the tiger, and how it's almost this feeling of like, even the dead will mess with me. It's like, because the way I'm seeing is the body in the water is someone who's crossed over and they're messing with him, and then that's causing him to get caught, because then he's acting erratic. So then the people who are watching him on the safari realize that there's something in there, and because he's already been trapped, now it's like you can be done with him totally, right? Kind of like what they do in these other parks, and someone acts crazy and then the animal is at fault. So that's what I'm getting here, is he was born trapped and he's forever trapped, because this is just kind of the life that he was born into, the reality of which he was born into. He didn't have much option. He chose this. He chose, why? Just seeing infinity, eternity and infinity. It's like, I chose this life to see forever. Like, I'm to empathize with people who are in similar situations. It's like enslavement in the public eye. You're enslaved to your family, and so it's for experience on a soul level, on a spiritual soul level. It's like he is hunter for experience, to understand this, to see this, and to see also it's like the forever, it's like we're forever connected, like the interconnectedness, the interwoven, the way everyone's kind of interwoven, and connect. It's connecting him more to higher, like his guides, his guardian angels. To be in prison or to be stuck is connecting him to his guides. It's a way where I feel he can't get away from it. I'm seeing it coming through in like solitude and in dreams. It's like when you're alone and you're in the silence, you can't avoid the visions, you can't avoid the communication. And they're showing me how like a shallot or like an onion or even a garlic like in the center, and kind of like this like pounding energy, like it pounds it down and then it unfolds like that. So if you just strike it the right way, it'll just open. More like a garlic will do that, but that's what's happening to him, communication wise, spiritually. It's going to happen. It's been amplified, it has been happening, but it feels more like the process where it feels like he's going crazy, and eventually he's just gonna accept it. And the reason I'm just like, what about like everyone else? Like, what's the point? And it's a slowing down feeling. It's like this feeling where reality seems to have been sped up, and you can speed it up even more with like social media and just like the way that our life kind of is and so interconnected. And so the more detached we are from kind of our truest form and nature, we're kind of going for the pace of our mind, like our brain's pace, which is very, very rapid. And so in that sense as well, then reality speeds up because our collective perception is speeding everything up. And so in that, then it's a way to kind of stretch it out. It's like I'm seeing generations, and they're saying that this is to highlight. It's like when you look at the generation, you have to look forward to the generations and what that looks like. And so who, like you will become victim of the generations of which you've raised. And so the generations in which you raised, if you did it from an unhealed and kind of a vulture kind of perspective, you know, or if you are just very selfish and all of this, then that generation, well, the karma can be received in this life, because when that happens on a mass scale of like your culture, like it's the culture of the world, right? And you kind of start doing, then what does that look like as far as the generation of which you built in your lifetime? Or yeah, right? Like you can look, just a simple example is like looking into the hospital setting. It's like if you're understaffed and it's people who just kind of are there because they've been pushed into it. It's not people who are really kind and compassionate healers. Then that's kind of what is caring for you in your end of life, right? Or in the times that you really need something or someone that would have that particular skill set. And so it's highlighting this, highlighting it, and how is presenting us with the choice and the options of slowing down our perception of reality, to slow it down and be more present with where we're at and our own healing, and how that's going to be reflected in those generations of which we are raising. How we are responsible for that. And then also I'm seeing like the world in someone's hands, right? And so saying that it's about personal responsibility. That's what it's showing us, is personal responsibility and accountability. Okay, so that's my reading today. Bye.